Hello there, dear viewer. Intel here. This is a quick disclaimer regarding this video. This is a re-upload of the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 review since I unfortunately lost my copyright battle against Paramount. When I first uploaded the review, it immediately got blocked worldwide before the video was even uploaded to YouTube. I realized quickly this was because of the way that I had gone about using movie footage to complement my commentary. I went back and spent a good hour tweaking and reworking the parts of the video where I used movie footage, such as shrinking it down and putting poses of Intel over some of the footage as a filter of sorts. And this did work, temporarily. Paramount allowed the video to be on YouTube with a normal copyright claim, which was fine by me, as long as people could see it. Unfortunately, Paramount changed their minds, and the video got blocked worldwide again, this time permanently. I tried everything I could, such as trimming out segments of the video, and even considered appealing the claim, but doing that can risk your channel getting a copyright strike. So I sadly had to give up and accept that I needed to re-upload the video with a new approach. This new approach comes in the form of a new TV set in my living room, once again drawn by my talented buddy Flame, who drew the living room art originally. You may have already seen this TV in action during the Captain America Brave New World video and as decoration in the Monopoly Go video as well. In this video, and all videos going forward, this TV will be present, and any clips I use while talking about movies and shows will appear on the TV screen as I talk. That way I can still use footage to complement my commentary, while it also serves as a way of using the footage in a significantly transformed way so I don't get destroyed by copyright claims. I hope you like the addition of the TV, and it'll serve as decoration in the living room when it's not being used to show footage. I appreciate y'all's patience with me working things out with all this, and thanks also to King Seth for editing this review remake. Love you guys, and enjoy the video. Cookies. I'm awake. Hi. Hey, guys. I was in the middle of a nap, dreaming about how good of a nap I was having. Oh, did that make sense? Good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen. I was napping, but I suppose I can take the time to review Peak. For those of you who might be wondering, yes, this is a redo/remake of sorts of my first review for this channel, as I discussed in the disclaimer earlier. I'm rereading the script for quality reasons, along with the fact that there are a few changes here and there now that I'm having the chance to give this a fresh coat of paint. So, you know what? Thanks, Paramount. I love you guys for this opportunity. It's time, once again, to review Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Let's do this!
And yes, I'll be doing the other Sonic movies in reverse order! That's how we're doing this, just go with me here. Now, I'm gonna level with you guys. It's no secret. I love this movie. Everyone loves this movie. And I'll gladly say it's one of the best movies of 2024 besides Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm going to do my best to give this review my own personal flair and not just say the same things everyone else is saying about the movie, because it would be very easy to just make a 2-minute video saying that the movie is peak and then just leave it at that, and I honestly think a lot of people would be okay with me going about it that way. But that's not what we're gonna do here. I want to talk about why this movie is good and why it works. Although I will admit that I probably won't be converting anyone's opinions with this film because, as I said before, everyone likes this movie. It's very solid and pretty hard to complain about. And yes, I'll be going into spoilers in this review. I mean, the movie's been out for over 2 months at this point, and I'm still throwing a warning in here for anyone who hasn't seen this thing. And if you haven't, like, what are you still doing here? Go see the movie and then come back. You have to experience Peak. Let's start with the biggest highlights of this thing. Jim Carrey as Robotnik/Eggman and Keanu Reeves as Shadow the Hedgehog. Everyone in this movie, from the humans to Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, is doing a really good job. Jim Carrey, however, is in top form here. He was already great in the first 2 movies.
Yay! Reading this.
But his performance here has ascended to something truly spectacular. It's very impressive for a character to play 2 different versions of themselves and for it to still feel like 2 different characters, yet at the same time, you can tell it's Jim Carrey playing 2 different characters. Robotnik and his grandfather Gerald bounce off one another really well on screen, and I seriously found myself forgetting sometimes that Carrey was playing both roles. He's just that good of an actor. If you loved Jim Carrey before, you'll certainly love him here, and there's a double helping of him this time around. Keanu Reeves' performance as Shadow the Hedgehog really surprised me. I wasn't sure what to expect going in, but I was absolutely blown away. You can feel how much pain Shadow is dealing with every time he's on screen, and his motivations make sense. He wants to destroy the world because his world was taken away from him tragically, and he feels there's nothing left for him. Maria was his closest friend, someone who helped them get away from being a science experiment, and someone who made him feel loved and that he wasn't a monster. It makes sense that he snaps because Maria was his moral compass that kept them together. After he loses her, he begins to unravel and is put into stasis for the next few decades. So it definitely makes sense for him to be really upset when he wakes up at the beginning of the movie. Speaking of the beginning of the movie, I'm already starting to lean into story territory, so let's go over the story beats. We start immediately where the post-credit scene of Sonic 2 left off. Shadow the Hedgehog is in stasis at a gun facility off the coast of Japan, and we soon learn why he's in stasis when he breaks out and completely decimates an entire room full of dudes armed with powerful weapons. He easily escapes the facility and then ice skates across the ocean into a title card. Yeah, there's a Dead Meat reference for you. Man, that intro and transition into the title was just mwah, chef's kiss, perfection! We're reintroduced to Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, who are all living a happy life with Tom, aka Donut Lord, and his wife Maddie. And I'll be honest, I really miss them. I love these characters, man. What can I say? After a fun race sequence, Team Sonic is asked to assist with a problem, and that's putting it very lightly, in Tokyo, which turns out to be Shadow the Hedgehog on a rampage with his awesome motorcycle. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles find they are pretty outmatched right away compared to Shadow's power, and oh my god, that first fight was so cool with Sonic chasing Shadow, and then they're fighting in the sky, and oh my god, this movie rocks! Okay, calm down. And that leads to them to seek help from Dr. Robotnik and his ever-present henchman, Stone. The first fight between Sonic and Shadow does a good job showing off just how powerful Shadow is, and even Sonic along with Tails and Knuckles can't even stand up to him. It's like a low-level party in an RPG going up against a late-game boss that kills you in like one hit because you don't have the proper armor or magical abilities. It quickly makes you realize that you've got to start grinding hard. Carrying on, it's time for... oh boy. Yeah, Robotnik has gone full Eggman at this point. Bro really let himself go. Also, it's not really explained how Robotnik survived the last movie because, well, this happened.
Yo! Yo, holy shit, he dead!
But he's Robotnik. I guess he just survives anything, and considering his track record, I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow survived the gigantic chaos energy explosion at the end of this movie. It's best to just not think about it. In exchange for one of Sonic's quills, Robotnik agrees to team up with Sonic to find out what was up with Shadow's escape because Robotnik's tech was involved, which helps grab Robotnik's interest in seeing what's going on. Who else would be using his tech? I just want to throw in here that throughout the movie we get flashbacks and references to Shadow's past with Maria and how he was experimented on, and it's a great way to explain his character without the backstory getting too in the way of the main narrative. I think they wove in the scenes from the past very well here, and it makes Shadow's character very compelling. I found myself feeling really bad for him, despite the fact that he wants to literally destroy the Earth, but you pity him in a similar way to how people kind of felt bad for Thanos in Avengers Infinity War. Obviously, his plan isn't good, and it's going to cause death on a massive scale, but you can at least empathize with Shadow and understand why he wants to destroy everything. His world was destroyed, so he feels like he must destroy the world in return. And just... come on, some of these lines, man.
A light shines, even though the star is gone. Maria, do you think I'm dangerous?
You're my friend. And you can do or be anything you want. Not because of your powers, but because of who you are in here.
I don't know what I'd do without you.
That's... I'm not crying. Okay, who's cutting onions? I know someone in there is. Wife? Quit cutting onions! The unlikely ensemble cast reaches the abandoned facility where Shadow was experimented on, and we get one of the best scenes of the movie, Robotnik meeting his grandfather Gerald. Not to mention, we get one of the best fourth wall breaks in movie history.
It's as if we're two characters in a movie being played by the same actor.
This was so unexpected, and it was absolutely hilarious. In a twist I'm sure the majority of people watching this movie expected, Robotnik changes sides and joins his grandfather and Shadow on their quest to destroy the planet. Team Sonic is captured, and they're about to meet a pretty grisly fate in this red black hole thing, but thankfully with some ring magic they escape back to Tom and Maddie, and they have to intercept the Robotniks and Shadow before they find the key they need to power their giant earth-destroying death laser, also known as the Eclipse Cannon. I enjoyed the sequence of Team Sonic working with Tom and Maddie infiltrating the gun HQ where the other key is held, and I do need to mention that Sonic gets the first key earlier in the movie after his first fight with Shadow after the weirdly abrupt death of Commander Walters. There's a lot of cool scenes here, especially the scene where they're all stuck to the floor with falling debris, and you start biting your nails because there's no telling who might get hurt. But the standout scene, of course, is the random dancing with the Robotniks. I did not see this coming, and it was absolutely brilliant. There's also a montage in this film of Ivo and Gerald doing some grandfather and grandson bonding, and then it all turns out to be just in VR, which I felt was a great visual joke. Now, this next part made me kind of mad because I seriously thought they had killed Donut Lord. Like, the movie actually makes you think he's dead for a bit, and it's understandable to think that, because Tom tanks a direct hit from Shadow, who steals the other key from him. I'm shocked he actually ended up surviving, and maybe it was a little bit of plot armor, but whatever. You don't kill Donut Lord. You don't get to do that. Sorry, that's the rules.
What did you do?
What I had to.
Sonic is, of course, very upset with Shadow for hurting Tom, and there's only one way he can properly fight him: the Master Emerald. There's a tense scene where you think Sonic and Knuckles are about to duke it out, because Knuckles obviously doesn't agree with the Master Emerald being used for revenge. Tails, of course, doesn't agree with this either. Sonic goes against his friend's wishes and seeks out the Master Emerald, and it's being used as a hockey puck by Wade, who we last saw in the Knuckles show. This scene is literally the only reference to that show. That's it. One joke. So don't feel bad if you didn't watch the show. You're not missing much. Here's where Robotnik starts to realize he's in over his head. He wants to rule the world, but then it's revealed to him that Gerald wants to destroy it instead. And this leads to one of the coldest lines I've seen in a long time.
Oh, Ivo. You'll know Maria.
Dude, that's wow. Like, I legitimately feel bad for Robotnik, man. That was ice cold. Okay, I'm gonna gush now, so fasten your seatbelts. The final fight between Sonic and Shadow is so cool. Oh my god, they both have the power of the Chaos Emeralds from the Master Emerald, and they're fighting all across the world, from a volcano with lava to mountains to the ocean to the pyramids, and it ends with some ruins. Oh my god, it's so cool. Ah! Sorry. Well, I'll calm down and justify my gushing. The visuals here are so cool, from the constant changing setting, to the colors clashing when Sonic and Shadow land punches, and the great shots of Ivo and Gerald just literally watching the fight from space. It also, once again, does a great job showing the viewer just how insanely powerful the Master Emerald / Chaos Emeralds are, and if Sonic hadn't stopped Robotnik at the end of Sonic 2, man, I don't even want to imagine the carnage. While I was trying to process this eye candy of a fight, I also was laughing my behind off at the hilarious fight between Ivo and Gerald. Seriously, this is one of the funniest fights I have ever seen in a movie. My wife and I, along with our entire theater, could not stop cracking up. I mean, look at that. Then Shadow talks some mad trash, and Sonic literally punches him onto the moon. Dude, this movie is absolutely insane, and I can't get enough of it. Thankfully, though, Sonic doesn't go full villain and realizes that he's not a killer and he has a heart. So he doesn't kill Shadow when he has the chance. And, like I was hoping for, the two have a heartfelt conversation and decide to team up to stop the Eclipse Cannon from destroying the world. Robotnik nearly dies, but Knuckles and Tails show up to save him. Then, dude, freaking Gerald, he just dies for being poked in the butt by one of Sonic's quills, and he flies into the chaos energy powering the Eclipse Cannon, and he just goes... he just goes, bloop! That's gotta be one of the funniest deaths I've ever seen on screen, dude. Oh my lord. Knuckles and Tails help Robotnik divert the Eclipse Cannon's laser away from Earth, and while it does miss Earth, it does hit the moon pretty hard. And as a side note, I can't help but think that that was a reference to this meme.
Except I'm not gonna piss on the Earth. I'm gonna go higher. I'm pissing on the moon!
Although the laser blast misses Earth, that doesn't solve the problem entirely. The cannon itself is still going to blow up, and it's too close to Earth, meaning there would still be catastrophic damage to the planet. And of course,
We can't have that.
Shadow agrees to help push the cannon far enough away from Earth so there's no damage to the planet. And then, Robotnik decides to sacrifice himself to go down with the cannon. He broadcasts himself to the world, documenting his sacrifice, and of course Stone is super sad about it. I don't blame him, man. I feel so bad for Stone. Now he's between a rock and a hard place. No? Okay, let's continue. Oh my goodness, man, this line.
If I can't rule the world, I might as well save it.
Everyone, and I mean everyone, got faked out by this line in the trailer. The trailer editing made all of us think that Robotnik said this when Team Sonic originally asked him for help with stopping Shadow, since Shadow is definitely an Avengers-level threat. Oh, wait, wrong movie. I absolutely love Robotnik's sacrifice. It's such a great moment in the movie and for his character. I love every bit of this, and I do think this is a fitting end for him. But I won't be surprised if he somehow shows up in the next movie, and if he does, they better explain how he survives this. Come on, man. I know he survived a lot in this series, but that was a chaos energy explosion. It was so big that you can literally see the aftermath of the explosion in the sky from ground level on Earth. So, happy ending! Tails and Knuckles save Sonic as he's falling to Earth after zapping all of his energy trying to stop the laser blast from the Eclipse Cannon, and the world is saved. Sonic delivers a wholesome apology to Knuckles and Tails as well, which just warmed my heart. Sonic is okay, they're back with Maddie, and yay, Donut Lord is alive! I was pretty sure they hadn't killed him, but it was still great to see that he was okay. He's good, just a flesh wound. And then we get a second race that brings the movie full circle. The end. Oh, okay, wait, hold on.
Whoa. Whoa! What? Whoa! Yeah!
Wow. Metal Sonic and Amy Rose from Sonic CD. Sonic 4 is going to be about Team Sonic fighting Metal Sonic, with Amy now joining the fray to help. Yeah, I'll be seated. I hope this movie series never ends. Finally, we get one more post-credit scene that confirms that Shadow survived, yay, and that he will definitely be back in the next movie. Whew, okay, we made it! That's the movie. Man, even though I loved it, I did not expect to have that much to say about it. I mean, can you blame me? It's peak. Of course I can't stop talking about it. This movie is another prime example of the video game movie curse not being a thing anymore. It's just not. No more curse. Sonic 1 and 2 were both amazing, the Mario movie slapped, we are done with the curse. Anyway, what an amazing film. To be honest though, I still think Sonic 2 edges it out, but only slightly. I'll be reviewing that movie sometime soon and explaining why it's literally the perfect video game movie to me. Sonic 3 is also an amazing video game movie, but I still think Sonic 2 is the best one. So far. Let's see how Sonic 4 is before I make any more judgments. Overall, this movie is just a lot of fun. It's got great action, really good CGI, a balanced tone that has a perfect amount of comedy and emotional moments, amazing performances from the actors on the screen and voice actors, and a solid story that is a great continuation from the first two movies. I am very, very excited to see where they go from here with a fourth film. I will very happily give this movie a solid 9 out of 10. The only thing that brings it back from true perfection, in my opinion, are just a few nitpicks, like how the viewer is supposed to just accept Robotnik survived this. In the last movie, and Commander Walter's very abrupt death. I almost feel like it was supposed to be played for laughs, considering how out of the blue it was and how it lacked any emotion. It was very jarring. And some of the characters definitely have some pretty thick plot armor, but besides that, I don't have any other issues. Again, this movie is kind of hard to complain about. I had to spend like 10 minutes coming up with those nitpicks, because I had to think really hard. Also, I was talking to my buddy Vince, and he confirmed that there was a deleted scene from this movie that showed Robotnik was severely injured from that final battle and screwed up every bone in his body and punctured a ton of organs. Stone ended up taking care of him and nursing him back to health. Okay, what? Why would they not include that? Why delete that scene? Huh? Well, my complaints about Robotnik surviving after Sonic 2 were still valid since they deleted the scene of Stone rescuing him. So, anyway, I feel very validated. And there you have it. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 down the hatch. Again. I hope all of you enjoyed this review. Again, I'm still a little unsure how good I am at reviewing movies at this point, so again, let me know down in the comments. What can I improve on with my reviews? Is there anything I should change or not do? I'd love to hear your feedback. This is Intellectual Conversations signing off from this review. Be sure to like this video, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe today to become an intellectual. I'm very happy to have you guys. Have a good morning, afternoon, or evening. Peace!